Today, I am sharing with you how I am building a multi-million-dollar coaching business with a clear calendar most days of the week. For those of you that are new, hi, my name is Sofia Bernardi. I am a mindset and business coach for online coaches and service-based businesses who are wanting to scale their coaching business the simple, sustainable way to those 30K months and beyond. We transparently are currently doing $180,000 per month, and so far we have had our biggest month back to back every month all of 2026. So I know that this year is going to be huge for us, which is really, really exciting. And something that I have noticed as we have very rapidly grown over the last, 12 to 18 months is that as your business scales, things shift and change. And so in order to keep that spaciousness, which is a really big part of what I talk about, things need to evolve. And that is really what today's episode is all about. It is about how you can continue to spaciously scale. Now, I'm going to be really transparent in this episode. I'm going to share, how I'm feeling, what I'm navigating, what's working, what's not, and all the things so that you can take the learning so that if you are earlier on in business, whether that is reaching your first 5K month, 10K month, 20, 30, or even your first 50K month, whatever it might be, that this will apply for you, because I feel like there are not many coaches out there that are really transparent about these growth seasons in business and how things evolve for different stages. Because if there's one thing I know, it's what gets you here doesn't get you there. Things do need to shift, and normalizing that is really, really important so that when that happens for you, you don't think that there is something wrong about you or your business that you're needing to change things. That's actually just really, really normal. So this is what most people get wrong when you think about spacious scaling, right? It's that spacious means doing nothing, or that spacious means, every season is the exact same, or that you never have to work hard or anything like that. Whereas that's just not true, right? Spaciousness in your business doesn't mean you're not doing anything. It just means you have more freedom and flexibility with when you are doing things. You have choice with it. So for example, I still work every day in my business, Monday to Friday. I'm just not necessarily always on back-to-back calls. So there's choice about where I work, how I work, and when I work, and how much I work. But that doesn't mean I'm not working. I'm working every day. Not only by choice, but also because businesses require your involvement in order to grow. Sure, there are lots of things you can delegate, delete, automate, template, systemize, and all the things. But if you're the front-facing, face of your business, there's going to be things that you are involved in doing. For example, Alex Hormozi, one of the top coaches in this space, right? He's had $100 million launches. He's still the face of every single social media post. So you best believe he is spending a lot of time doing content creation. Sure, he's not pressing send or schedule on the email, and he's not doing those sorts of things, but there's plenty of things he is doing. It's just as you reach different stages and phases of your business, what you're focusing on and how you're focusing on it, and all of those sorts of things shifts. So hopefully that helps. So yes, I preach spacious scaling, and I have a lot of spaciousness. In fact, it is the end of May as I'm recording this, or heading that way anyways. And this is the first day where I'm truly sitting down at my laptop working on my business and doing a whole bunch of things for my business, because all month I have been traveling. I've been in Adelaide for 2 weeks, then I was in Sydney for 4 days, and then I had family visiting at my house here in Noosa. And so I have just been with family all month because my beautiful sister flew all the way from Denmark to Australia to spend time with me and the family and everything like that. And so that is where I have been spending all of my time. And to me, that's what spacious scaling is. We signed clients, multiple times per week this month, where we've already hit over 100K cash, for the month, and there's still 10 days at the time of recording this left of the month. And, we're doing super well, and I feel like I've barely been on, and all of these things. So that's, to me, what spacious scaling is. Like, I've been able to travel, I've been able to live my life, and my business has continued to grow. And I still need to be involved, and I've still responded to clients every day, of course, and I've still been on calls and all of these things that continue to happen. Very, very normal. So it's not about not doing anything. It's just about setting things up in a way where things continue to move forwards and flow despite you not being always on. But that doesn't mean never on. There's a huge difference. So hopefully that helps. Now I want to dive deeper into the what got you here won't get you there, because I have just transparently noticed that, you know, when I was at 30K a month, I was like twiddling my thumbs sometimes, being like, I just have so much freedom in my calendar, and I would look for ways to fill it, in all honesty, because I love working, I love being busy, I love doing things, and I had so much spaciousness. Same at 40K a month, 50K a month, 60K a month, and so forth. Even at 100K a month, definitely had some busier days, especially with sales calls, but it wasn't every day. But even then, you know, I definitely still had a fair bit of freedom. I have noticed though, as I've hit 150,000 to 180,000 a month, things have definitely slowly started to shift. And I'm a really big fan of changing things before they become a huge problem. But I have noticed, okay, we have a lot more clients. Okay, there's a lot more moving parts all of a sudden, and there's a lot more posts to respond to in the school community. There's a lot more people on the calls. Like, I have just noticed that, you know, subtle shift, and I'm glad about it. It is a positive thing. And this is where most people go wrong, is if they assume, oh, that means there's something wrong, or that means my business model was wrong. It's like, no, it's just that you've grown, so we need to evolve things so it can continue to feel spacious, if that makes sense. So before things start to feel like burnout and terrible for me, I'm noticing, okay, if I keep going this way, we keep having our biggest months back to back, and we keep signing 20 plus clients a month, I can start to see how this would get a lot. So who do I need to hire? What do I need to change? What do I need to do differently to remain that spacious scaling approach? So see how the mentality isn't that this is wrong or bad, and more that just, you know, this needs to shift. That is really the difference. It's not making it wrong. It's actually acknowledging what's going on and shifting accordingly, okay? So it's really important to recognize that different levels of business require different levels of leadership, and I can continue to increase my revenue, and we have the capacity to do that. But if I wanted to maintain my sanity and my spaciousness in the process, yes, I would need to change things, because I'm noticing my calendar start to fill up a little bit in terms of just client delivery, of responding to everyone's posts and messages. A few more extra one-on-one calls, and a lot more sales calls is going on. I have a sales closer, I have a support coach, and all of these things, but I love my clients. I love my potential clients. I love being involved. As I get to different stages in business, I will need to step back a little bit more of things, especially the sales call side of things, so I can maintain, you know, being in delivery. But even then, there's just like different ways of showing up for things, and that's very, very normal. So early on in my business, and maybe you resonate with this, is that the focus is very much on just getting visible, getting seen, getting your messaging right, signing clients, building confidence. This is all very normal, very important, and still a priority of mine today. And later, then you start dealing with other things like leadership, team management, operations, scalability, retention, emotional capacity, and decision making, and retention, and all of these things. Now, these words used to scare the living daylights out of me. Now it's actually very normal and more my reality of where I spend my time. I don't really have an issue with visibility or messaging or any of that sort of stuff. So that is all very, very normal. So at one level, at the first level in your business, you're trying to prove that the business works. And then at another level, you're trying to build a business that can keep working without breaking you. And I think that's really the important shift here. So I think for me, what's been really helpful is just normalizing that, you know, what got me to this point has been amazing, and now I just have to shift things to continue for it to be amazing, essentially. This is why I'm such a big fan of the Scalable System, which is my unique process, my signature method, that's broken into sustainable strategy, which is how you get leads without burning out, and seamless sales, which is how you get sales without the plateaus, and then simple systems, which is how you create freedom without the overwhelm. And the thing that I love about it is that it does work for all stages of business. It's just how you use it evolves, right? So for example, I'll give examples for all of my pillars so that you can see what this looks like and how this is going to support you. Like I said, whether you are starting your business and trying to hit your first 5K, or you're literally trying to make your first 500K. So sustainable strategy, in the beginning, what that would look like is sustainable strategy teaches you how to post consistently and post high quality content and build that trust and learn your messaging and, focusing on all that sort of stuff. Whereas my current stage, for example, is now actually not about posting more, or it's just about refining what I'm doing to do a better job. And, now it's like paid traffic as well as the organic traffic. And it's about, strategic launches and stronger nurture systems to optimize what I'm currently doing rather than just adding more and more and more. Whereas there was a time in my business with strategy where it was about doing more. Now, sure, more to elements with certain things, but otherwise it's about doing better. So it's less about doing more and more about becoming more intentional. And I had a realization even this morning alone that I really haven't prioritized my organic social media marketing as much as I would have liked, because my ads do so well. But I've realized, hold on, if I was to step away from sales, my organic marketing would matter so much, because people wouldn't be seeing me as much on calls. So it'd be more important that they can feel my energy, yes, from my long form content like podcasts, YouTube, my events, which does brilliantly at selling, but my short form content needs to be on point too. So it's actually something I need to prioritize as I remove myself from different parts of the business. And I want to think ahead on that and, make sure I'm intentional with it. So I had my own wake up call on that alone today, and I'm already putting in things in place to actually fix that, so that's an example. When it comes to seamless sales, in the earlier stage of business for myself, it was about actually just learning sales and learning to love sales and improving my confidence and, making sure my offer was really good. Whereas now it's about, actually about qualifying people and, doing a better job in that regard, so I'm not wasting time, and having team support around this and a better follow-up process and automating parts of the process and, all of that sort of thing, and optimizing the conversions. And then with simple systems, it was about basic organization, basic onboarding, simplifying delivery, whereas now it's about SOPs and team structure and delegation and back-end systems and, protecting my time and energy and different levels of leadership and all of these sorts of things. So there's a few different moving parts. So see how same system, but just different focuses, areas of it. And there's a lot of people a lot of business coaches that don't even have a signature method, but whatever their system is, whether it's a step-by-step process or something else, it only works typically for certain stages of business, whereas this really does support you at all stages of business and will continue to support me even at 300K a month, 500K a month and beyond, because of I'm focusing on, the 3 pillars are the essential areas that need to be focused on at any given time at different levels. And so I love that I get to scale with the Scalable System. So this is something I'm really proud of, because it means when my clients start working with me, they're addressing the root cause from day one. They're focusing on the things that matter and never the things that don't. Very, very important. Now, I want to share with you the identity shift that I'm navigating right now based on what I just shared with you, where I'm noticing this bottleneck sort of start to appear, where I am noticing that my calendar is no longer as spacious as it once was at times, right? So for example, I just ran an event last night, so naturally my calendar is quite full today and tomorrow because, the calendar is full for my sales closer and then also for myself. So really, if I wanted to continue to scale, I would actually need to hire another sales closer at this point, if I wanted to remove myself from it. And I've really loved it up until this point, and I really still do love it, but I do see how that wouldn't be sustainable long term if I was just to continue to do all of these calls myself. So some things that I'm navigating right now as I realize my business slowly starting to get to this new level where some new iterations will need to be made is that I will need to hire another sales closer and just expand my team slightly. I need to focus on protecting my energy a little bit differently, not focusing on certain things that I just shouldn't be focused on at this stage in the business, so that I can focus on the things that really, really matter. Just having a few more boundaries in place and trusting my team more, trusting myself more, trusting my clients more, I think is really important. That's just a bit of an identity upgrade. So yeah, needing to delegate more, needing to be more mindful of my energy and my time, and just accepting that growth does change things. So, I have accepted it, but now it's like, okay, here we go. Got to hire. And just that identity of wow, I'm now a business owner that has 2 sales closes and doesn't do the sales calls, like that is definitely nerve-wracking for me and a shift that I'll need to step into. So there's a few pieces going on in that regard. I'm also about to broaden out and we're going to run ads to the US as well, which is going to be awesome, but it does mean we're navigating even more time zones, even more variables, and I need to make sure that my program supports that and I can support that, the sales team can support that, and so forth. And so yeah, there's just a few things there that I'm looking at doing so that we can hold the level of growth that's actually coming in. What else am I trying to focus on? Yeah, definitely protecting my time a little bit right now. Like my calendar is just like fully open for anyone to book at any time. And I just want to start shifting that, to be honest with you. So that's kind of where I'm at regarding all of that. Like definitely a shift in my mindset around content, like to prioritize that again, prioritizing my time, delegating more, expanding my team. So it feels like a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but I do love it and I am here for it. And yeah, that's honestly just where I'm at, to be honest with you. And I just wanted to share that to kind of normalize that as your business grows, things do change in your business. Every single level of business is going to require something different of you. You know, your systems need to evolve, your leadership needs to evolve, your mindset needs to evolve. And I just believe deeply that you can build a highly profitable business without burnout. You just have to make sure you are ahead of the curve and adjusting things accordingly. So yeah, I'm in a really good season of my business. I'm really grateful for the kind of growth that we have had so far this year. And in order for that to maintain itself and for us to keep up, I can definitely feel I need to hire and structure things. So right now I'm updating my curriculum of my program to make it even more of a step-by-step, even just more dialed in. I always just love to improve things. Like I have a very high standard for how my content is for my clients, and no one's complained about it. Like everyone loves it, but I can just see how it can be better. So I'm focused on updating my curriculum, making it more of that step-by-step process for them, and then just making sure we're providing like enough support to, you know, support everyone, and just thinking ahead, okay, if we had 40 clients come on in a month, what would that actually look like? So we can start setting things up in a way that's going to support that. Because for me, client experience and client results is everything. And whilst I also need to, you know, detach responsibility, like I'm responsible to them, but I'm not responsible for them, and really owning that and reminding myself of that, I still take the whole responsibility to them piece very seriously, and I want to do the absolute best that I can, so that it's easy for my clients to show up and it's easy for them to get results. So that's really my focus right now. I'm in a few little moving pieces right now. So right now it's about mastering delegation and doing that next level of that. It's improving curriculum for client delivery and experience. That to me is really important, and then mastering organic content again. And I think what that means or looks like for me, I know for my brain, I need a bit of a system to follow. I don't want it to be so rigid of like Monday, the content pillar is this, and Tuesday, the content pillar is this. No, I freaking hate that. But I need a bit of a theme going on so it's easy for me. You know, I've gotten my VA to create my content for a long time, but I can see a huge difference when like I create my content versus when I delegate it to someone else. And I do want it to be infused with me as much as possible. And when I look at what AI is doing and how that's making short form content so shit, for lack of a better word, I want to look at like, okay, what is raw, authentic, real that AI couldn't do very well anyways. And for me, it would be documenting my journey to scaling with a clear calendar most days of the week, and what that actually looks like at the revenue goal that I have, and how that evolves. Because like I said, I can easily have a clear calendar most days of the week at 50, 60, 80K a month, but can I do it at, you know, 150K a month? Can I do it at 200K a month? Can I do it at 300K a month? There's a difference there. And, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. And I think documenting that journey, sharing the lessons, sure, someone listening or many people listening won't necessarily be at that stage in business, but could they take lessons and learnings from it? Could they apply, my mindset and help them fast track that result? I believe they could. So that's kind of my focus at the moment, is creating a bit of a series. So if you want to stay tuned for that, come follow me on Instagram. I'm at Sofia Rose Bernardi, and you'll probably start to see a little bit more of that, authenticity, that meanness that comes across very much on my YouTube channel, that comes across very much on my podcast, in that long form content, and with my clients, like they just get all of that. But how can I show that in a short form way, putting in effort to it without it consuming my whole day? Because that's just not something that I want to do, and I'm willing to take the consequences that come with that, but I still want it to be better than it currently is. So finding that nice balance between the two and being an embodiment and integrity of what I teach and preach is super, super important to me. So that's kind of what I'm focused on. Bit of an update. I'm really proud of us for having generated well over 700K for the year so far, knowing that we are just, a few months into the year. That used to take me 12 months to make. It used to take me years and years to make, the fact that it just gets faster and faster and faster. And, there'll be a point maybe in the future where we're bringing that in a 30-day period. There's plenty of coaches out there making over $1 million a month, and not that that's necessarily a goal of mine at all right now. Knowing that it's possible, and how there's no way I would have thought I could make this much in this time frame. Who's to say where I'll be in 1, 2, or 3 years with where the business is at and the track that it's running on. So yeah, a lot of changes in the business. I wanted to give a bit of an update to kind of share where I'm at. And also, I hope a takeaway that you get is that things don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect in order to get really great results, because, I'm definitely not. Like, my content is messy sometimes, and, I am a day late on posting this episode, and I've never done that in years, but I've just been traveling and with family all month, and I just let that slip. And there have been weeks where I haven't sent out an email, and this is very rare behavior for me, but that's just been the reality of this month. Like, my family took more of a priority, and I had batch created up until a certain point, and I wasn't organized enough from there, and I didn't prioritize it enough. That's as simple as that. But now doing something about it, fixing it, and it doesn't really matter, knowing that 99 times out of 100, I am just on the ball with all of that. But it is also just a little reminder of me, like, wow, okay, need to have better systems, and this is the season I'm in, and imagine if I had double the workload, how this, could get worse and worse. And so that's just an awesome reminder for me to do something about it. So it's exactly what I'm doing. I wanted to take you on the journey, give you that update. I would love to know from you, do you like these kind of episodes? I will only keep doing them if you like them. So could you please let me know? Come message me on Instagram if you like it, or, comment and reply somewhere if you're liking it, because then that will tell me, okay, yep, do more of this behind the scenes stuff, because I do love doing it, but I'm only going to do it if it's responded to well. So your feedback means everything. If you'd like to work with me to have a clear calendar most days of the week in your business at those 30K months and beyond, then, reach out and we can have a chat about that as well, to see if you're the right fit and if I can help you. All right. Love you all. Speak to you soon.